Once upon a time, long before the giant stadiums and sparkling outfits, there was just a girl with a guitar. Her name was Taylor Swift. She grew up on a Christmas tree farm in Pennsylvania. From a very young age, music was her best friend. She loved to listen to stories and songs. She especially loved country music singers like Shania Twain and the Dixie Chicks. Taylor didn't just want to listen to music though, she wanted to create it. She started writing her own songs when she was only 12 years old. These weren't just simple rhymes, they were stories from her heart, full of feelings that everyone could understand. Her family saw her passion and believed in her dream. They knew she had a special talent that needed a bigger stage than her bedroom. So, when Taylor was a young teenager, her whole family made a huge decision. They decided to move to Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville is the heart of country music in America. It's a city where music lives on every street corner. It was the perfect place for a young songwriter to try and make her dreams come true. This was a big and brave step, leaving behind friends and everything she knew for a chance at a music career. In Nashville, Taylor worked harder than ever. She spent her days writing songs with professional songwriters and her nights performing at small cafes and clubs. One of these places was the famous Bluebird Cafe. It's a special place where many country music legends got their start. Taylor would get on stage with just her acoustic guitar. She would sing the songs she wrote about her life, her friends, her hopes, and her heartbreaks. People started to notice her. They saw a young girl who wasn't just singing words but was telling real stories that connected with them in a powerful way. This early time was so important for Taylor. It's where she learned how to be a performer. She learned how to capture an audience's attention with just her voice and a guitar. She was writing about her own life as a teenager. She wrote about crushes, feeling like an outsider, and navigating high school friendships. Because her songs were so honest and personal, other young people felt like she was singing directly to them. It was like she was reading their diaries. This connection with her fans started right at the beginning and became the foundation of her entire amazing career. Taylor's hard work in Nashville paid off. A man named Scott Borchetta saw her perform at the Bluebird Cafe. He was starting a brand new record label called Big Machine Records. He was so impressed with her talent that he wanted her to be one of the first artists he signed. Taylor said yes. This was a huge moment. At just 16 years old, she released her very first single, a song called Tim McGraw. The song was about a summer romance and how a special country song can bring back memories. It was a perfect start for a new country artist. The song was a big hit on country radio. People loved it. Soon after, in 2006, she released her first album, simply titled Taylor Swift. This album was full of songs she had written during her high school years. Songs like Teardrops on My Guitar and Our Song became anthems for teenagers everywhere. They were about real feelings and real situations. Our Song was especially popular and became her first #1 hit on the country charts. Taylor was no longer just a girl with a dream, she was a real country music star, and she was just getting started. Her second album, Fearless, came out in 2008, and it was even bigger. This album was a phenomenon. It included the hit songs Love Story and You Belong With Me. These songs were like fairy tales set in a modern high school. Love Story told a Romeo and Juliet story with a happy ending, which everyone loved. The music video for You Belong With Me, with Taylor playing both the girl next door and the popular cheerleader, was on TV all the time. Fearless was so successful that it won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. This was a massive achievement for a country artist so young. During this time, Taylor faced some challenges. At the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards, while she was accepting an award, Kanye West famously interrupted her speech. It was a difficult and embarrassing moment for a young artist, but Taylor handled it with grace. She didn't let it stop her. In fact, it made her fans love her even more. They saw her as someone who could face a tough situation and come out stronger. This period showed everyone that Taylor Swift was not only a talented musician, but also a resilient person who was here to stay in the music world. As Taylor Swift grew up, her music grew up with her. She started to experiment with new sounds. Her albums Speak Now, released in 2010, and Red, released in 2012, started to include more pop music elements. Red was a particularly important album in this transition. It had huge hits like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble. These songs still had her amazing storytelling, but they had new exciting beats that you could dance to. You could hear the sound of a big pop star starting to emerge. She was moving beyond the borders of country music. Then, in 2014, Taylor made a bold and exciting move. She released the album 1989. She announced that this was her very first official pop album. It was a complete change. There were no country guitars, instead, there were synthesizers and electronic drums. The lead single, Shake It Off, was a fun, upbeat song about ignoring negativity and just being yourself. It was an instant global smash hit. The world went crazy for Taylor's new pop sound. She wasn't just a country star anymore, she was a worldwide pop superstar. The success of 1989 was unbelievable. The album had two more #1 hits, Blank Space and Bad Blood. Blank Space was a very clever and funny song where Taylor made fun of the media's portrayal of her as a crazy serial dater. The music videos for this era were like mini-movies and they were watched by millions and millions of people online. She went on a massive world tour, playing in sold-out stadiums in countries all over the globe. Everyone from young kids to their parents was singing her songs. She had truly become a global icon. This change from country to pop was a huge risk. Some people were worried she would lose her original fans, but Taylor showed that her songwriting was the most important thing. Whether it was a country song or a pop song, it was still a Taylor Swift song. It still had the clever lyrics, the catchy melodies, and the emotional honesty that fans loved. This fearless transition proved that she was a true artist, unafraid to evolve and try new things. She had successfully conquered the pop world, becoming one of the biggest and most important music stars on the planet. After becoming a pop queen, Taylor Swift continued to surprise the world. She released more blockbuster albums like Reputation in 2017, which had a darker and more electronic sound, and Lover in 2019, which was a return to bright romantic pop. Then, during the quiet times of 2020, she did something completely unexpected. She released two surprise albums, Folklore and Evermore. These albums were different again. They were quiet, indie folk albums full of beautiful, sad stories. They showed that Taylor could write amazing songs in any style of music, proving her talent as a master songwriter. One of the biggest challenges of her career came when she lost the rights to the master recordings of her first 6 albums. This was a very difficult situation for her. It meant that the company that bought her old record label owned her original work. But Taylor, being the smart and determined person she is, came up with a brilliant plan. She decided to re-record all of those old albums. She called them Taylor's version. This allowed her to own her music again. It was a powerful move that changed the music industry and inspired other artists to fight for their own work. Today, Taylor Swift is more than just a pop star. She is a cultural force. Her Eras Tour became the highest-grossing music tour in history, a massive celebration of her entire career. Her fans, known as Swifties, are one of the most dedicated fan bases in the world. They analyze her lyrics, find hidden messages in her videos, and support everything she does. She has won more Album of the Year Grammy Awards than any other artist, a testament to her incredible and consistent talent over many years. She is truly in a league of her own. Taylor Swift's journey from a girl with a guitar to a global icon is a story about talent, hard work, and never being afraid to change. She is important because she taught a generation of fans that their feelings are valid. She showed that writing about your life can create powerful art. She also demonstrated the importance of owning your own story and standing up for yourself. Her music has been the soundtrack for millions of people's lives, and her influence on music and culture will be felt for many, many years to come. She is a true legend.